Hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Ruth and today I'm going to be starting I'm doing my collection series, but this is eyeshadows. I'm going to split it into two videos because there's a lot. And I'm starting off with the oldest in my collection, so kind of 2022 backwards. And then the next video will be 2023 onwards. So let's get into it. I'm so excited. I'm going to start off with my singles. These are ones that I've hit pan on in the last 12 months. So I think I have a Zoeva there. I have one from the Tatti palette. This one is from Glass Gods, I think. It's such a mess. It's this flaky kind of shadow that is just, it's beautiful when you swatch it like this. I mean, stunning. But trying to get it on my eyelids is a nightmare. And before everyone says, use a glitter glue, I can't use glitter glues. They really bother my eyes, unfortunately. So there's that. I wonder if I should zoom out a little bit. Is that a bit better, guys? What do you think? So yeah, unfortunately, even though it is stunning, it just doesn't work for me. So I've hit pan on all of those. These are the ones I'm currently working on. We've got two colour pops here, and we have this lovely one from KVD, or Kat Von D, I suppose it was, when this palette was made. It was the holographic palette. I took them out because it was in a triangular palette that was hard to store. But you see the way it has the tiniest bit of a shift in it. Gorgeous. That is a kind of a pinky shift. So I'm going to continue working away on those. I want to try and hit pan on them. And then these are just an assortment of eyeshadows. There's the other three from the KVD palette. So they all have a little bit of, see the way you got a bit of green, a bit of blue, a bit of purple. I just love them. I think they're gorgeous for inner corner highlights and even as face highlights, because I think that's what they're originally for. These ones here are Natasha Denona. This one is Cleona, is it? Or is it Clarity Cosmetics? And that one is Cleona, I think. Oh no, Give Me Glow, sorry. These are all a mixture. These two, I think, I don't know. Some of these are from the Sydney Grace Coffee Talk palette. We have some colour pops here with some Kaleidos, and we have a couple of Sephora singles. And my goal is just to keep working through them, hit pan them, or declutter them depending on what I decide. But yeah, they're my singles. As for single in kind of container shadows, I have these ones here. This was a freebie from Kiko last year when I was there in France. It seems like a nice shade, so I'm going to hang on to it. I haven't really played with it yet, but I picked up this pale, just bog standard setting shade. I don't know why I'm swatching it. It's a setting shade. So I have those. And then these were decluttered to me by Rita from 10 Red Lipsticks. And the reason I took them is I thought I could use them as contours. I could use them as, not lid shades, crease shades. Or I could use them as brow shades. So I said I'd hang on to them and play around with them and see what I do. I haven't really played with them yet, but the goal is there to try and play around with them. If it's a case that they don't work out, I'll declutter them. Simple as that. I'm not very attached to them, but I thought it might be a fun way to try and use them. Oh, I'll have a lot of glitter in my hands after this, I can tell you that for nothing. Try and get some of that off. I am going to be a glittery mess. So on to actual palettes. So the first one is from Kaja, and it is the Beauty Bento and O2 Orange Blossom, and Misty very kindly decluttered this to me. I just don't use it though. I've always wanted to try their eyeshadow, so I'm really glad I did. And like, it's pretty, but I just don't reach for it. Even when I put it into like Project Juices and that, I just, oh, I don't know though, it is very pretty. But I feel like I have those shades time and time. Oh God, it looks very pretty there now. I'm going to put that into a maybe pile for now. Next up was from Rita. This is the Sweet Tart Double Shot. It's the sister brand they had, Sugar Rush. And this is what, I don't want the mirror to blind you. This is what it looks like. We've got some nice neutrals in here. I love these kind of peachy shades, and you have some nice kind of shimmery shades. I haven't really played with it yet either, but they're very pigmented. And they look very pretty, so I want to play with that before I make a decision on it. So hopefully that'll go into a project next year. Star Wars Mandalorian The Child palette from Colourpop. This is not the original colour story. I have taken some out and put some in. But I do enjoy it. I like these kind of muted greens. I think they're very pretty. This is a lovely crease shade. This is a nice kind of liner shade for me, maybe outer crease. We have Pan here, but that shade I think I'm nearly certain is actually from... What are you from, sir? You are from the old Pat McGrath hard plastic palettes that they used to have, the horrible palette. And I've hit Pan on that, but I thought it matched this palette well. So this is one I need to play with. I think even if I took all these shades out, I'd still keep the palette because it's just the most cutest little thing ever. And I would put other Colourpop shades that I have there in it. Is that a stain? Another one from Rita. This is the Zoeva Precious eyeshadow palette. And I took this because I haven't used Zoeva formula in forever and a day. And I wanted to see if it was as good as I remembered, or was it good for the time, etc. And I think I've come to the conclusion, either this palette is old, so it's not given as much intensity as newer shadows do. Like, they're still pretty, but I don't know, maybe it's the colour scheme, I don't know, I didn't love it on the eyes. So I'm going to let that one go, especially this shit, hate that. That kind of shit always looks awful on me, it always makes me look like I have a bruise or something. So that one's definitely going. Another one from Rita, one that I had wanted for years. This is the Nomad palette by Juvia's Place. And like, oh, if that's not autumn in a palette, I don't know what is. It is just stunning. I played with it a bit during the autumn. I think I got 2 uses out of it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's a really, really beautiful palette. The only thing is, I hope I didn't pan any of these. They're massive pans, and they're quite deep, I believe, as well. But that doesn't matter. I'm keeping it because I like the look of it. One that was decluttered to me from the gorgeous Amy Melissa. This is the Persona palette, and I'd never tried Persona, and I was so curious, so she very kindly decluttered this to me, as well as 2 of their blushes. Loved the blushes. This is fine, but I have all these shades, and the formula wasn't anything so amazing that I felt like I needed to keep onto this, so I'm going to let that one go as well. Another one that was decluttered to me from the lovely Misty. This is the Zendo palette, but it is no longer the Zendo palette inside. This is a combination of the Love palette and the Zendo. I just picked out the shades that I really liked and I knew I'd wear, and I put them all into this palette. So we're 2 short, and that kind of vexes me a little bit, but I'm not putting another 2 into it just for the sake of it, because I don't want to. So I love all these shades, and I'm going to keep it. What I'm not going to keep, though, is the Love palette. I'm going to let the Love palette go. So you can see I put a lot of, you know, the greens and that were in the Zendo, and a lot of matte kind of shades. I suppose there's an awful lot of matte. I didn't realise I put that many matte in here. But yeah, I have, what I like of these shades I already have. But the majority of them I'm not mad keen on them. So I'm okay with letting this go and let somebody else play with it. One of my very oldest palettes, this is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette, and I've loved this palette. I've had so much fun with it. I've done palette bingos with friends and all that kind of stuff, and it was in my project 100 uses for this year. So as you can see, it is so well loved now. I mean, it could be more well loved, but I am very happy with the progress I've made with this palette. We've got loads of pans in it. The empty pans are shades I just didn't like, and I said, well sure, I'm not going to be passing this on to anyone, so just take them out so they're not kind of distracting me from what I want to play with. So yeah, this palette is going to be going in the bin, but I've had great pleasure out of it. I've got so much use out of it. It's definitely my most loved palette in my collection, and the colour story was fun. Wasn't mad in the greens. I'm not a big green, that kind of green. They were very bright greens. I haven't seen anything that she's come out with since that I absolutely loved the colour story of. So, and plus as well, I bought this for half price. So I think it was like 45 euros. probably 40 euros. I'm okay with spending that on something like this. I'm not okay with her full whack prices. I think it's a bit steep. So yeah, this one will be going. A little bit of a sad to see it go, but you know, it's done me well, and I really enjoyed it. Time to move on to something else though. Another one in the same field is this Natasha Denona Mini Star palette, and as you can see, I had pan in this kind of greenish shade that was there, but it broke up on me. It really got crumbly and it fell out of the pan. And the other shade that was in it, this is like an antique gold more so. This one was more green, I think, wasn't it? I didn't like that at all, so I just tossed that away. Have hit pan in this a long time ago, and these are just, I've used them so much. Like, this palette has been used 100 times plus, and still barely dips in these two shades, and they would have always been the shades I used when I used this palette. This shade is just sublime. I absolutely love it. I think it is gorgeous, gorgeous. But the palette itself, I've noticed the mattes are starting to get a little bit skippy on the eyes, so I've got my 100 uses. I have other palettes I want to try and do the same with. So again, I'm okay with letting this go. But this shade here is, I wonder, does she sell it in a single? What shade is that? Bellatrix. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade. I love it. But yeah, I'm going to let this palette go now. Bye-bye. Love you. Bye-bye. Another one from Rita. This is from KVD. It is the, what are you called again? Planet Fanatic Fully Recyclable Wet Dry Eyeshadow Palette, and this is what it looks like. I had always been curious about this palette. I'd seen it a number of times when it came out online and that, and I thought there was something about it that kind of appealed to me. Now, having said that, the packaging is quite cheap in that I know it's recyclable, but I remember oh no, don't break. I remember Eyeshadow Revolution, which was another subcategory of Revolution, had very similar packaging, and I thought, gosh, you really went a bit cheap there. But the eyeshadows are just lovely. They're so creamy. It's just, yeah, really like these. Look at that, like, that's just beautiful. I found the mattes were very easy to use, and the shimmers were just beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to keep on to this. I'm enjoying it so far. No, oh no. Oh no! I know some of them are kind of trying to get out of the pan. Oh no. Don't die on me, please. I like you. I have to be very gentle with you then, won't I? Interesting. Another one from Rita. She was very good. We met up during the summertime. It was like a kids' party. We were just like swapping fancy paper. We both bought stuff that we were decluttering. So she was decluttering this from Sigma, the Corderosa palette. And again, I'd never tried Sigma eyeshadow, so I was really excited to get my hands on this. I couldn't believe it. So again, I haven't played with it yet. I'm hoping to kind of in the springtime maybe. I think it'd be a nice springtime palette. But it feels nice. It feels nice. I know people have mixed thoughts on Sigma in that, you know, people with codes really push it, which, you know, I saw that for years at Morphe as well, so we shouldn't be too surprised. But it looks pretty enough, and the colour story looks pretty to me, so hopefully it'll work out. If not, it's not the end of the world. But, you know, I'm just so delighted to finally try the formula and, you know, finally sate that curiosity about the brand. I know a lot of people love this palette, so hopefully it works out for me. A little palette that I have loved. This was the e.l.f. What were you called? Cream and Sugar little quad. Oh my god, you idiot. I just stuck my nail right into it. Oh, Ruth. Messer, messer, messer. Oh look, I hit a pen. This has been such a handy palette for holidays and stuff like that. But it's gone very dry now. It's definitely had its day. I've had it a long time, and I did get my uses out of it. So I'm going to declutter this. But lordy lord, what a little mess I made. Let's see if we can do a little bit of a clean. Oh lord, she's making it worse, guys. She's making it worse. Let's pretend you didn't see that and just put that there instead. One of my teacher's little palettes. I love this. Shelley from Unapologetically Shelley sent me this a couple of years ago. This is the Natasha Denona Baby Gold palette, and I really love this. I've been using it over the kind of this holiday season. This gold is like a proper gold. Look at that, like it's a yellow gold and it's really intense. That's a lovely shade for the crease, and that's a lovely darkening shade and a nice liner shade. So I'm getting great use out of that at this time of year. And then last but by no means least, I wonder should I back up a little bit, because I feel like I want to make sure you can see all of this one. This is the Mrs. Glam Showstopper palette, and it's done in conjunction with Be Perfect. And she is an influencer here in Ireland. I'll actually fold it back, isn't it? Oh, I love when you can fold things back. So, as you can see, you have highlighter, blush, bronzer. I'm ambivalent to those. I don't necessarily love them, but I do thoroughly enjoy the eyeshadows here. I did declutter. There was glitters in it. I got rid of them because they're just not... I just can't use glitters. Like I said, because I can't use a glitter glue, they fall all over my eyes and they end up irritating my eyes, and I just, yeah, it's not worth it to me. I get loads of fallout and all that kind of crack. So I just get rid of them so they're not in there messing up my other eyeshadows. But you have like this Mrs. Loves is kind of a warm, you have Workers, which means they're your workhorses. You've Mrs. Glam, which is, you know, more fun. You've Vibes, I hate that word. And you have Mrs. Bride, which are kind of more bridal shades, and they are just beautiful. Really lovely eyeshadows. I thoroughly enjoyed this palette. So this one is going to be, spoiler alert, in my Project 100 uses for next year. This is going to be my focus palette. Because again, it is now my oldest since the other two are gone. Oh, look at them, aren't they beautiful? And this palette, like I said, it's from 2022. No, 2021, I'd say. And I know that's not that old, for especially for powder products. But, yeah, oh, look at that. I just love it. I think it's gorgeous. Dog here. Really stunning palette. And such a workhorse, do you know what I mean? It kind of, it does everything. You've got your, that's your kind of blush shades. They're pretty enough. Highlighter's a bit dark, especially for this time of year, but it does for an eyeshadow as well. And then the bronzer isn't bad, actually. I don't mind it, but it is a matte bronzer, which isn't my preferred bronzer. A little bit warm. It's okay in the summer, though. I don't mind it so much in the summer. But yeah, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I think that's beautiful. Stunning. Lovely, creamy shadows. Look well on the eyelids. Don't make my kind of older eyes look creepy or anything like that. Doesn't transfer that much. Just, yeah, really pretty. I could do with a matte cream in it. I might press one into it. I might. We'll see what happens. But yeah, love it. Can't wait to start playing with it in the new year. It's going to be a fun palette. And like that, I feel like it can cover all times of year. Autumn, winter, summer, you know, everything is there. So pretty. Love it. So, out of this round, we're keeping 1, 2, 3, please be good, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. My singles, which I'll just call 9. These singles. Am I keeping this or am I letting it go? No, I'm letting it go. I feel like I have similar shades in my collection, and I just don't reach for it because even though it's small, it doesn't go with anything else. Do you know what I mean? I need mattes and I need another palette out with it, so I'm letting that go. So what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. God, I can't even count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So out of this group, I'm keeping 9. And I'm letting go of 1, 2, excuse me, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not bad. Oh, I'm really happy with that. I didn't even think I'd do that many. That's brilliant. I'm thrilled with that. Thrilled. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. There will be a part 2 coming, like I said, with my newer palettes. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below. Do you have any of these palettes? Do you like them? Do you not like them? what kind of formula, who's your favourite brand for eyeshadow? I don't know that I have I do like Natasha Denona. It kills me to say it because she's expensive. But I do like it, and I do like Be Perfect's formula. I always enjoyed that. But yeah, let me know, what's your favourite brand? Whose eyeshadows do you find are the best? But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll chat to you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Slán.